So people talk about the power of the mind. Powers of the mind really come from deep within an individual, and not so much the mind or the intellect. Very important to understand that. The study which delves into such obscure regions can be generally labeled occult. Even though magic does seem to be synonymous, not always the case. Magic can include psychological, mental upgrades of the mind alone, which are not always manifest. So within each man and woman is a universal force able to cause change both subjectively and objectively. And like the fervent beat of a drum that slowly evokes one's emotional energy upward and outward as it swells, this has been effectively evoked by tribes all around the globe for years. Various cultures have mastered raising group energy and directing it at certain individuals or causes by focusing their minds even on dolls or photos. There are high energy concerts, holy roller church groups, advertisements, and movies that can and have been used and abused using these methods to possess the group energy for personal interests, entrepreneurship, material gain. Kind of like football games that end in riots. The impact of such emotional outbursts affirm and strengthen one's relationship and love for an object, an ideal, or a system. Recorded accident reports show 150-pound women who lift the front end of a car off their child's chest, just kind of document some kind of superhuman power of the mind. Although a woman will state that they don't know how they did it, they will agree that it was not muscular force in and of itself that did the lifting. So mind control is the essential basis for all systems of enlightenment, because it's impossible to control any force of nature without being able to control the complementary forces within that very being, within yourself. Any energy that you invoke takes on your personal influence as it passes through you into manifestation. You essentially become a catalyst. And the purpose of developing such mental powers, really a tool to lead to the control of emotional and spiritual insights, to be able to properly discern that which you're experiencing and that which is coming into your spirit or your mind. Channeling, it's difficult to understand. Often those that become channels are not necessarily those that spend time studying the occult, per se. Though it should be understood that enlightened ones, the avatars and so forth, do spend time with secret study of occult traditions and so forth. Not typically just waking up as an epiphany of starting their way. But that's all part of it, because they are to live a normal life, for lack of a better word, so that they can actually teach by that example, not just to manifest as some divine being perfect, because that is not something that we can behold in our minds, in this form, in this body, in this reality. So, and we cannot rule out the possibility that such communications occur, though how many Cleopatras and Pharaohs and King Arthurs and Atlanteans could we possibly have at once? And yet, now at this time when all entities and spirits wishing or predestined to play a part in the fate of humanity are coming back, to put a kind of coy phrase, but so it's not to make fun per se, but to draw attention that it is becoming more prevalent today, more self-enlightened people, more people calling on and working with relationships with spirit guides, their guides, which is not really a difficult thing, isn't really a thing that requires a bunch of education for, short of the knowledge and acceptance into the reality, because again, if it's not something that can be accepted into reality through personal semantics, you're not going to interpret it as such. So, although each person is capable of manifesting exceptional things and linked with each soul and spirit and divine wisdom, miracles seem far and few between, yet this kind of manifestation that is interpreted as divine intervention in the form of synchronicities, or what some people will interpret as coincidence, it all is a process, and in nature things do not necessarily just happen. Nature does not simply give a tree the right to grow, to flourish and reproduce without water, soil, nutrients, and of course sunlight. So